I'm going to tell you a story about one of my past lives, which happened in this life. When I was looking for a summer job in high school, I noticed that there were people in New York City who would sell things on the street. And I noticed that they made their own hours. It looked like they made some money, and it attracted me. So I had a best friend who had a next door neighbor who owned a laundry bag factory. And he complained about how hard it was to run this factory. And he once said to us, when I was your age, I used to sell these laundry bags on the streets, and I made more money in 2 hours than I make all day now owning the factory. And so our ears perked up and we said, Jaime, could you possibly get us started? We'll buy the bags from you and, just get us on the street, show us the ropes. So he did. And on that first day, we went to Wall Street. We took two different corners. And between 12 and 2, I made a lot of money and I had a lot of fun and it was buzzing and I got excited about it. My friend was visited by the police who wrote him a ticket and took his bags. So that didn't work out very well for him. But I got the bug and I started doing it 4 or 5 days a week. And not only during the summer, but then I dropped out of college and I came back to New York and started to sell laundry bags to earn the money that I needed to make music and take voice lessons and take seminars and all the things that were interesting to me. I was financing all of my dreams with nylon jumbo laundry
Is
bags.
that full? No.
If you can
Okay.
turn you're muted. If you can mute, some of you are not muted. So anyway, these are the laundry bags. They last so long that this bag that I started using 45 years ago, it's still fine. This is the nylon jumbo laundry bag size. And then we had the medium laundry bags. So I used to hold a bunch of different color laundry bags in my left hand, the medium size, and then different color laundry bags in my right hand, which was the jumbos. And I would hold them up and I would say things like nylon jumbo laundry bags, machine washable, water resistant, the strongest laundry bag you can buy without a prescription. So what I was doing was I was developing myself as an entertainer. And I didn't know it. I just knew that I was bored with just saying nylon jumbo laundry bags the whole time. And I started coming up with creative things to do, like, you've read the book, you've seen the movie, now buy the laundry bag. And most people would walk very quickly past me and not want to catch whatever I seemed to have, which was just pure silliness and creativity. But some people were attracted to the energy, and many people needed a laundry bag. This is New York City, and people would take their laundry to the laundry place, and they needed a machine washable, water resistant container for their because of the rain, the frequent rain. So anyway, I developed a style to hawk my bags. When there were high school kids that came by, I would say, I don't mean to boast, I don't mean to brag, but I got the world's best laundry bags. I got the small ones here. I got the jumbos too. I'm going to make your laundry bag dreams come true. And you may have profit, you may have riches, you may have rags, but everyone needs a nylon laundry bag. It's a bargain for you, it's a profit for me. If you buy a couple hundred, I'll give you one for free. We got the laundry bags. It's amazing I remember these things. So it was against the law. And I was practicing A Course in Miracles, and I remember the lesson, I am under no laws but God's. So I felt okay. I wasn't hurting anyone. I wasn't damaging anybody's businesses. Nobody sold laundry bags where I was selling. So I justified it as slightly illegal. And I would have to run away from police, and sometimes they'd catch me and they'd take my bags and write me a ticket. Well, I considered that paying my taxes. So one day I had this really fun idea. I tried to develop a relationship with the police where instead of seeing them as the enemy, when they caught me, I would speak to them as a human being. You know, how you guys doing? Um, how's your family? And so human to human, I developed relationships with the police. And one day I had this idea. So I wrote as a note to the New York City police officers in charge of Peddler's squad. This note is written permission for my son Scott to sell laundry bags on the streets without a license. We know it is against the law, but I know ignorance is no excuse, but a mom's written permission sure is. This note absolves him from the law. Hugs and kisses, Mom. So I put it in my pocket, and I almost couldn't wait for the next time the police caught me, because I wanted to see their reaction. And sure enough, a day or two later, some police officers come, and they're about to take my bags, and I said, "Hold it, I got a pardon." And I took out the note, I gave it to one of the officers. He read it out loud in official police monotone. In other words, didn't break into a smile, didn't have any reaction. And I started to get afraid that, maybe this was a big mistake. But he gave me back the note and he said, "This one's on Mom. Take a walk." So, yay, it worked. It was fun. The next day, I was selling in the same place, Court Street, Montague, Brooklyn Heights. And a police car comes racing towards me with its siren on, which usually meant that they were going after real criminals or something very serious. So the peddlers, including myself, wouldn't stop and try to run away when we saw a police car with sirens. But this particular car stopped right in front on the curb where I was selling, and the two officers from the day before got out of the car, came right up into my face, and said, "We want the note." And I relaxed, realizing the sirens, they were playing a joke back on me. And I said, "Sure, here's the note." And they said, "We told everybody in the precinct about it, and no one believed us." So later on, they told me that they laminated the note, put it on the bulletin board, and that it's still there on the 84th precinct. Now, it took 7 years of selling laundry bags before I developed enough experience and courage and training to let go of selling laundry bags. And I moved from New York to California. I had to take driving lessons because up until that point, you don't need to drive in New York. So I took driving lessons. I bought a car for like $1,000 and I went cross country and I started a new life in California with a commitment that I would never do anything for money again that wasn't part of my purpose, that wasn't calling me. Because laundry bags, I made the best of it, no doubt about it. But it definitely was a stepping stone, and I couldn't wait to start making music. And I did. I made a couple of cassettes, and I got my first gig with a group called Network Chiropractic, and they said, "Rent a car, drive up to this particular hotel in the Catskill Mountains, and we'll reimburse your expenses. We'll pay for your room and whatever you charge." We didn't even discuss what I charged. I was so excited about getting the gig. I hadn't even thought of what to charge. So when I was done giving the concert to a bunch of really cool hippie chiropractors, the owner of the seminar, Donald Epstein, came up to me and he said, "I'm going to pay you now." And I'm like, "Great." And he said, What do you think you deserve? And for all I know, in this new agey type of environment, this is how people pay people. It's never happened to me again. But he handed me a check and he said, "Here's a check. It's blank. Fill in what you think you deserve." And I remember closing my eyes and asking for guidance and really just trembling and not knowing what to do. I'm used to playing by the rules and doing what's appropriate. But for somebody to say, "What do you want to be paid, dude?" Oh my God. So I thought of what I felt comfortable receiving. I added a zero to it and I wrote it down and I handed it to him and he signed it and said, "Great job. We'll be seeing you again." That night, as I was falling asleep, I kept hearing the words, "Here's a check. It's blank. Fill in what you think you deserve." And then I started to transition into sleep. And in that in-between place, I heard a deeper inner voice say, "That's pretty much what I said to you before you came into this body. I said, here's a life. It's blank. Fill in what you think you deserve." That was pretty profound for my young mind. So eventually, especially with the help of Network Chiropractic, who were hiring me once, twice a month, going all over the place, I was able to afford moving to California. And 6 months after living there, I came back to visit my parents and just visit my friends. And I went to where I used to sell laundry bags the most, which was on Court Street in Brooklyn Heights. And I went into the kosher pizzeria where I used to hide my bags and hide from the police in the bathroom downstairs in the basement. They let me do all that. Mostly I had lunch there and I built friendships with those people. So I went in there and they said, "Oh my God, it's you. Guess what? What a perfect week for you to visit. Take a look at the back of the Brooklyn Heights Gazette," which was the local weekly newspaper. And I looked at the back and there was a caricature, a comic of me. And it said, "Whatever happened to the laundry bag man?" And that felt really good. Like I made my mark on the city that I grew up in. And final story about this. That trip, I also was giving a concert. And somebody was looking at me very strangely all night, like just trying to withdraw a memory from her memory bank that she couldn't find. And she almost had like a painful look. And at the end, she came up to me with that confused, and she said, "I know you from somewhere. I know you from somewhere." And I knew exactly what to say to jar her memory. I said, "Nylon jumbo laundry bags, machine washable, water resistant." And she said, "Oh my God, you're the laundry bag man. Oh my, what happened to you? I used to feel so sorry for you. What happened? How did you become a singer?" And I walked her to her car, telling her my story, which I now call my Bags to Riches story. So that's the story of the day. I love sharing this story. It actually feels like a past life. And when I tell it, I have to admit to myself that it really happened, that I did spend 7 years doing that. And I actually once went to jail for it because the city was making a clean sweep of all the peddlers, getting rid of the peddlers. And they left me alone as much as possible. But I had the reputation of being the token white peddler because I was the only white boy out there as a peddler. And and so the police came up to me on a Friday and they said, we've been getting a lot of pressure to arrest you because we don't want to appear prejudiced and we have to give you equal treatment. So we're going to have to take you in for the weekend. So handcuffs and everything. I walked into jail and I met with a bunch of colorful characters, and everyone called each other by their crime. So my nickname was Laundry Bags. And Laundry Bags survived the weekend. It wasn't fun, but there were some fun moments, including when we were having like a verbal sparring war, like, and I was feeding my cellmates some very creative put downs, and they all had to do with your mother, blah, 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 blah. It was just very sophomoric, but I was coming up with some really clever ones, and then my cellmates would shout them out, and and people pretended to be very offended. Oh, I'm going to get you. And my cellmate said, oh, I'm not making them up. Laundry Bags is. Laundry Bags, we're going to get you. And a policeman comes by with a pair of women's underwear. And he says, okay, whoever wins this war, this put down war, gets a pair of these underwear. God knows. It was crazy. And I'm very glad that it's done, and that I can withdraw those memories from my memory bank and realize that there really is no such thing as a stepping stone. At the time, I was like, I can't wait to stop doing this. But when I look back on it, I see that there was a lot of love in there. There was a lot of growth. And I could have had an even better time if I wasn't judging myself for doing it. Could have had a much better time. So that's what I keep seeing is like, we're not really taking stepping stones, because if we're truly here and now enjoying not making wrong our current circumstance, this is where heaven manifests. This is where the good is. Whether you're in prison, whether you have cancer, or whether you're selling nylon jumbo laundry bags. So